it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare, sometimes self-care, and today we're talking February favorites and fails. This is the video where I get to share with you all the skincare and beauty products that made a big impression on me this month, good and bad. So if you're so ready to jump into all the faves, give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump right in. So February is a pretty short month. It did go by really fast, and this was an interesting month for me because I was really recovering from putting my skin sort of through it in January. So as I mentioned in the January Faves video, I had overcome COVID, which definitely took a toll on my skin, but I also went through my second testing period with the VT Renewal Shot 100 Essence. The video review did come out this month. Please check it out if you haven't already, but spoiler alert, the product actually was not a match for my skin, and I did go through a little bit of irritation on my second testing period with that product. So that's really what I was dealing with this month with my skin. A little bit of product irritation, a lot of, late winter dryness and post-sickness dryness, and just really trying to focus on getting my skin back in shape. So first up is the Skinfix Triple Lipid Collagen Activating Serum. And this is a serum that is all about healing your moisture barrier. I did dive into this product in depth in the latest This or That episode that came out last week, This or That 32. Please check that out if you're looking for a real deep ingredient, deep dive here. I'm not going to do that here in the video. I'm going to give you a quick overview, but really this product is just focused in on lipids, as the name suggests, to heal and restore your skin. They're using a mixture of lots of different lipids, not just ceramides, although that is present here in the formula, but they're using a lot of different lipids that help to support that moisture barrier, that really nourish and comfort and soothe the skin and really help to mend irritation and flaky skin. And that's exactly what I had coming off of the VT Renewal Shot testing period. My skin was actually peeling. Don't you love it when you don't know that your skin is peeling until you put some makeup on or something and you're like, hello, my makeup looks terrible. I didn't know my skin was peeling. Now I do. Great. And so this serum was so helpful. I was actually playing around with it a little bit when I was sick with COVID, when I had a little bit more energy towards the end of my sickness because my skin was feeling quite dry from that. And so I was like, oh yeah, this stuff. And it immediately just mended up that peeling skin. I was very impressed with this. And if you caught that This or That, you know that I really do recommend this product for damaged moisture barriers, really vulnerable, weak skin that has been through it and needs repair. To me, this isn't really a barrier maintenance product. You absolutely could use it that way, but it really is something that I see as something you reach for when your skin's in the worst state. And for me, my skin was in the worst state. And this really helped it get back to where it needed to be. Now, I also mentioned in that review that this product is a little rich for me. It does have a creamy texture. It's not like a loose, runny, gel cream texture. It's a true cream type of texture. And with all those lipids in the formula that really help to repair the skin, it can be a little bit overwhelming for certain skin types. And for me, I am a little bit congestion prone. I do have a lot of other emollient rich types of products that I just always have in my skincare routine. And I truly think that the mix of Strata Lipid Gold and the Fortify Oil and the really rich moisturizers that I like to use, plus this product, when my skin did heal and mend up, I think it was just a little bit too much, and I did start to see a little bit of that bumpiness start to come in, a little bit of that congestion. So for me, it's not something that I'm going to reach for every single day, morning and nighttime, just due to that fact alone. I don't want to give up my other products. They just work so well for me in order to accommodate this serum. But when my skin is at its worst, I would not hesitate to add this into my routine. I was so surprised at how well it worked. So next I have to talk about the Peach and Lily Rescue Party Barrier Restore Serum. A twist, because if you caught This or That 32 last week, this is the the other product that I compared to the Skinfix Triple Lipid Serum to. And so you may be like, whoa, she likes them both. They're both in a February Faves. What? Yeah, I know. It's not that I like one better than the other. I actually like them for different reasons. And so Skinfix really helped me when my skin was at its worst and it needed repair. And Peach and Lily is what I purchased because once I started to notice that the congestion was forming on my skin and starting to suspect Skinfix was just a little too rich for like twice a day, everyday use. It was just a little overwhelming after a while. I decided to pick up the Peach and Lily serum as a way to keep those results up, right? So that my skin didn't backslide into the irritation and the peeling and the really dry irritation, right? The itchiness. But I could kind of keep my barrier in a really good spot, kind of give it that little extra lift that it needed this month without overwhelming it. Looking at the ingredients list, I felt fairly confident that this was going to have a little bit more of a lighter kind of texture to it. And I was right. And I'm really glad that this worked out for me. It has 5 different types of ceramides in it, a couple of different fatty acids, phytosphingosine. It also has ectoin in it, which I actually covered ectoin as like a rising trending ingredient a couple of weeks ago. This is a really potent antioxidant. Not only does it protect from UV and environmental stressors, it actually is a potent anti-pollution ingredient. It really is kind of considered like a protective, an overall skin protector, but it's also a deep hydrator for the skin too. It doesn't just attract hydration into the skin, it actually creates this long-lasting hydration shell within the skin that is incredibly beneficial for dehydrated skin. And what do I always say? Dehydration is a symptom of a weak or damaged moisture barrier. So I think it's a really smart addition with ectoin. Plus they have colloidal oatmeal, heart leaf, and mugwort, which are really great anti-inflammation soothing ingredients. So I was like, oh, all the things I want right now for my skin, but in a more hydrating, lighter texture. You can see that this is more of a runny gel cream type of texture, whereas that more traditional stiff cream texture we were getting with Skinfix. This is totally like the difference that I needed in my routine. I needed something just a little bit lighter, a little less emollient, something that wasn't going to be too rich for my skin, but keep my barrier in good shape, maintain it now that I've gotten it back to a better state. That's exactly what this did. So while it seems weird that I'm naming 2 barrier repair serums in the same month as favorites, they really did act differently for me and really got my skin back to health fairly quickly. So another favorite that I wanted to mention this month is the Triple Lipid-Peptide Cream from Skinfix. Now this is an interesting one. I feel like I've come very full circle with this product because if you have been a longtime viewer of my channel, you may remember that I actually reviewed this back around 2020 and I did not like it. I shared with you that I thought that the texture was a little bit thick. It didn't absorb really well into my skin. I questioned the ingredients, if they were really able to repair your barrier. I hated the smell of the product. All of that just kind of chalked up to something. I was like, I really don't like this. And then a couple of months ago, back in August of 2023, I gave you an update. Because this product actually had been reformulated since I had first reviewed it. And so I decided to give it a second chance. And my feelings about it actually had changed quite a bit due to the tweaks and the changes that they made to the formula. The texture itself, I felt like was really improved. It absorbed a lot better into my skin. It felt more nourishing and comforting and healing. But honestly, just the performance of the cream had really improved. The smell hasn't. But I can learn to live with that. It's just kind of like that plasticky kind of like unscented skincare kind of smell, unfragrant skincare smell. You get used to it. But anyways, it was a product that I said, hey, I'm really warming up to this. I'm really enjoying this. It's also a product that I recommended in my winter moisturizer video in 2023. It's something that I think is really great, and it's been helpful for me this month. I think it was time to really say, hey, this is a favorite of mine. I've come full circle with this. This has been really helpful for me. As I mentioned, my skin's been going through it this month. This really helped with the peely, flaky irritation. I was using for a while CeraVe, which is really one of my go-to for so many years. It really suits my skin, but sometimes when my skin is so dry, it is ailing so much, CeraVe is not quite enough for me. Then I started using Iliune, which I absolutely love, and that was kind of hitting the spot for me too, but then I was just like, I just really want to oomph it up. And so I started using this one because it is so rich, it's so moisturizing. And I started using a tip. I've been playing around with this before, but I'm so sorry I can't remember the username, but it was actually, I think like at least a year ago, a subscriber had mentioned that they like to use this cream with just a little bit of CeraVe moisturizing cream mixed in, and it kind of creates like an even, like thicker, heftier kind of cream with a little bit more occlusivity. So I started playing around with that and I love it. I love it. It is so rich. It's so moisturizing, but for me personally, it's not overwhelming. And it's just like that right mix, that right prescription that my skin needed. So like I said, I wanted to do like an honorable mention, put a little love on this, uncomplicated love on this. You know, my opinion changed. Products change over the years too. They do get reformulated, and sometimes it's for the better. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. And this is one of those rare examples where the reformulation actually made this a product that I really respect, something I really actually enjoy using, and something that helped my skin this month. So let's talk nail care. This is something I've been getting into a little bit more over the last year. You know, I love to manicure my nails with the manicurist, but what do you do when you take the nail polish off, right? This is the Dr. Dana Nail Renewal System, and this is actually something I've been using for at least 6 months, if not longer. But I just never really had like the right opportunity to talk about it. But recently I deviated from my LED manicurist manicures, and I use those nail wraps, you know, the ones that you just like kind of press onto your nails and kind of file off the excess, and they're just like nail stickers. But those, you know, that adhesive, when you do, you know, slowly and very carefully peel those off, they do tend to be very rough on your nails. They can sometimes leave your nails kind of peeling. They can really dry them out. They're just kind of, yeah, they're just a little bit aggressive. And so that is something that inspired me, like, oh yeah, you should really talk about the Dr. Dana system, because this actually really transforms your nails. And I think it's really essential if you are really into manicuring your nails. If you're using those types of adhesive on your nails, if you're doing like gel manicures or acrylics, I imagine is even more aggressive on your nails than the wraps. You really need something like this in your routine. So it's a 3-step system. They make it really simple for you. First is a glycolic acid prep, and that actually does exactly what it would do for your face, right? It helps to exfoliate the top surface of your nails to remove all the excessive kind of built up skin cells. It also helps to loosen up the like peelies, but it's also really good if you have like ridges or unevenness in your nails. It's just a really good kind of prep for the nails for the buffing that's going to come next. But you can also run it a little bit around the cuticles and the skin around the nails to help with like excessive skin buildup there, hardened skin, hangnails, things like that. So then my favorite part of the system is the priming wand. It's a 3-step buffing system. And this is, you know, you're like, okay, it's just like a regular buffer. And that's what I thought too. But honestly, this is so much more powerful than the ones that I've been buying at Target for years and years and years. This blew me away. The first step is a really rough, like gritty buffing situation. So you're supposed to buff until you see a little bit of white powder. And this is where the glycolic prep really helps. A little bit of white powder on your nails. This is really helping to even out the surface of the nail. This is what gets rid of the peely, rigid texture on your nails. Then the second is like a much finer grit that really refines that smoothing process on the nail. And then the third step is my favorite, and that is the one that shines. It will like buff and shine your nails to squeaky, listen to this, squeaky perfection. But look at the results. It looks like you put a top coat on your nails because they're so shiny and so polished just by the wand alone. So it's incredibly satisfying to go from like dry, peely looking nails to buffing that all down, smoothing it all out, and then squeaking it to a polish. But it makes your nails look amazing, feel amazing. It really does. When you get that unevenness, it really does take care of that. And then the third step is the hydrating gel solution. And this is something that just kind of helps lock in the moisture. And so I do want to mention quickly that the glycolic prep and the hydrating serum, they do contain some fragrance, and there is some orange peel extract in here. So if you do have the fragrant allergies or sensitivities on your hands, this may not be for you. I don't really have that problem around my nail beds, luckily. Not my favorite ingredients, but it's okay. But if you're really interested in the priming wand, they do actually sell it separately. So this is the 3-step system that I've been using that I really like. But like I said, what I was most impressed with was the priming wand, and it is sold separately on the Dr. Dana site. So if you're not into the other stuff, you can still experience this. I love this so much. And like I said, it seems like it would be the same as everything else, but I think they've taken a lot of care with really helping to transform nails that are uneven, that have those little breaks and ridges and peels in them, and really, you know, help smooth that out, but also get that nice protective polishy layer that also just looks really good on your nails. So I promised you a fail this month. It is the Tir Tir ceramic milk ampoule. Are you surprised? If you didn't catch the video, definitely check it out. It's the one that came out just before this one, and I hate this. You never hear me say that at all, right? I am very diplomatic about stuff that doesn't work out for me because, you know, I am not just reviewing products for myself. I'm reviewing it for our community. So I like to keep my mind open to different skin types, different folks, different situations. Just because something doesn't work for me doesn't make it a bad product. I'm not so sure about this one. It's hard for me to feel diplomatic about this because it's so weird. It's so greasy. It's so thick. It's so gross. The texture, you know, I love textures, right? Like I always say you should find joy in your skincare because that's what's going to help you stay consistent with your products, right? And that's how you're going to get results. You got to find joy in the routine of things. And one of my joyful aspects of skincare is really the texture, how it absorbs, how it plumps, how it smooths, how it makes my skin feel, how it replenishes. This doesn't do any of that. This is such an inelegant, clunky texture. I never have described a texture with the word gummy before. This is gummy. It's thick, it's greasy, it doesn't absorb well into the skin, it sits on top. And the very first time I put this on my skin, I had to wash my face in the middle of my skincare routine. I was just like, I'm noping right on out of this. This is not gonna work. This feels gross. And I tried to make this work so many times in my routine and it just didn't. And because this is so inelegant and so greasy and just sort of sits on top of my skin and doesn't really absorb in, everything else that I put on top of it, because this is, you know, I have the little trial size here, it's so tiny. This is a serum, right? So anything else I put on top of this, moisturizer, all of that, it just doesn't feel like it is sinking into my skin. It feels like it's sitting on top. And so there's almost like this barrier on top of my skin. And so after a while, my skin was feeling really dry underneath all those thick layers sitting on top of my skin because nothing was getting in down to the source, replenishing, soothing, nourishing my skin, absorbing. And very expensive. Not this one. This is the tiny 10 milliliter bottle, but they do sell a 40 milliliter bottle for $50. And I'm just like, this is a $50 experience? I don't think so. So I want to let you know I do have some spots open for skincare consults coming up in March. They were sold out for a while and unavailable, but they are back. And these are a really great option if you ever wanted to do like a one-on-one and really have me look over your skincare routine and really help you figure out, you know, how can you accelerate yourself to your skincare goals? What products work well with each other? If you want personal recommendations from me, this is a really great opportunity for that, especially with the upcoming spring season. You may be looking for a refresh or a change. So I do have 3 different options available for different price points and for different concerns. So if you are interested, definitely check out the link in the description box. So for this month's self-care corner, I wanted to talk about meditation because this is something that I have been struggling with for a long time. It's something that I gain a lot of benefits from, especially for me. It's a way to help manage stress and anxiety. Also, it's a great way for me to clear mental clutter, to feel like I kind of come back home to myself, to my intuition, to aligning with my own energy. But it also is something that expands my creativity as well. I do gain a lot of benefits from it, but like whenever somebody says like meditation, I'm just always kind of like, ugh. I know I should be doing it, but like it's so hard. And so this month for me was about kind of reframing meditation to maybe even more of like a mindful moment in my day, because I'm really trying to build that habit. It's increasingly becoming more and more important to me to take that time for myself. And I thought maybe it'd be helpful to share on that because, like I said, a lot of us hear that word and we just want to go the other way because it's just too hard. And not only that, it's like it's awkward and it feels uncomfortable. And even though you're sitting in a room, you know, probably by yourself, right? You feel a little bit like you're doing it wrong. Like maybe you're being judged, like maybe you're not following the rules, or you're not like, I don't know. I get like some anxiety about like, did I do it right? Is this the way it's supposed to be? It's like, who's watching you? Like who, what? No, you can do it though any way you want to do it. And that was kind of like my first like breakthrough was like, hey, you can perform meditation, or if you want to call it a mindful moment, any way that benefits you. Nobody's watching you. Nobody's judging you. It's nobody else's business. Do what you need to do. And so I've been trying to take, you know, even just a few minutes of my day, because like time is a luxury for a lot of us, right? Time by ourselves is a luxury for many of us as well. I totally understand that. Sometimes I will just turn on the Spotify sound bath playlist. I'm obsessed with this. I discovered it this month and I'm like, this is amazing. It really clears my mind. There's just something about the sound bath like soundtrack that just like, ooh, yes, peaceful, serene, like my blood pressure is lowering, you know what I mean? So sometimes I'll just lay down and listen to that for a couple of minutes. Sometimes I even just like, I'll just like play it in my earbuds and just kind of like just sit at my desk. And I feel like more concentrated. I don't feel like a million things coming at me. I just like take a moment away from screens. I'm like, yeah. That feels good. Sometimes I will do some yoga poses, you know, like 5-minute yoga flow of just like some sun salutations and then hang out in child's pose for a little bit. That feels amazing. It feels so much more restorative to me to hang out in child's pose and get that upper back and arm stretch, right? And like that chest opener. It feels so much more restorative to me to do that than to sit crisscross applesauce and like meditate. You know what I'm saying? This is actually kind of an uncomfortable stance for me for more than a couple of minutes. It's definitely about taking the initiative and the leadership for myself. It was about releasing expectations and fears about doing things right or wrong, right? And judgment of my own self even. And just using my intuition to follow what felt right for me in the moment. And I guarantee if you ask me about this in March, I will have a whole set of different things that I've been implementing in that mindful moment of my day. Maybe even I need to rebrand meditation to mindful moment, right? So I wanted to share that with you because I know that like meditation is something a lot of people want to do, but it's also something a lot of people struggle with. But I feel like increasingly it's something so many of us need as a collective. And so this is just my perspective of snatching back a little bit of our day to ourselves to use however we need to in order to kind of realign our energy, come back home to ourselves, kind of zen out, even if it's just for a few minutes. So I'm curious to know what your favorite products from February or maybe some of your favorite self-care moments were. Let me know in the comments below. If you love the video, you stayed through to the end, but you haven't hit subscribe, please. I would be so honored if you come join our community. Turn on notifications so you're never out of the loop. I love you so much. I hope you had an amazing February. I hope you have an even more amazing March. And I hope that you stay healthy, happy, and safe. I can't wait to see you in the next video.